Good morning, students. Welcome back to social class. In the previous lesson, we discussed about Kakatiya kingdom. So, how the Kakatiya kingdom was emerged and the famous rulers in the Kakatiya kingdom, Prataparudra, Rudramadevi. Okay, so in the year 1323 CE, so the last ruler of Kakatiya kingdom was Prataparudra, was defeated by Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So with that, the Kakatiya dynasty was ended. So soon after, in our Telugu areas around in Karnataka and Andhra and Telangana region, so another kingdom was established. That was the Vijayanagara kingdom. So we are going to discuss about the kings of Vijayanagara. The kings of Vijayanagara. So after the Kakatiya kingdom ended, another kingdom was built by a family of warriors who laid the foundations of large empire called Vijayanagara or Karnataka. Okay, we are going to discuss about Vijayanagara kingdom. So whenever we discussed about Vijayanagara kingdom, we may remember about Sri Krishna Devaraya, the famous ruler in that empire. Okay, so Vijayanagara means the city of victory. What is the meaning of Vijayanagara? City of victory. So the Vijayanagara kingdom was located on the banks of Tungabhadra river in Karnataka. So according to the history, so the Vijayanagara kingdom was established by two brothers named Harihara Raya and Bukkaraya. So both are brothers. So those were established this kingdom around 1936 CE. So Prataparudra was defeated in 1323 CE. So after 3 years, so this kingdom was established. So with the blessings of a sage named Vidyaranya, so Harihara Raya and Bukkaraya was established this kingdom. The kings of Vijayanagara worshipped Sri Virupaksha. Virupaksha means Lord Shiva. So they worshipped Lord Shiva. The Vijayanagara empire lasted for about 250 years, though it was not ruled by kings of the same family. So Vijayanagara kingdom was continued, lasted up to 250 years, but that kingdom was not ruled by same family, not the heirs of the same family, not hereditary. Okay, so that kingdom was ruled by different families. Usually, after the one king, their sons or daughters will become the king or king by hereditary. But here, the Vijayanagara kingdom was not like that. So that was ruled by different families on the name of same kingdom, name of the same name. Okay, so after the family of Harihara Raya and Bukkaraya of Sangama dynasty. So Harihara and Bukkaraya were belongs to Sangama dynasty. Later Saluva, after Tuluva and Aravati families. So usually the dynasties um, established on the names of their surnames. ఇక్కడ సంగమ, సాలువ, తులువ, ఆరావటి, these are the surnames of their families. Okay, so ruled the empire one after the other. Some of these kings spoke the language of Kannada. Usually this kingdom belongs to Karnataka, and those were ruled the parts of different states around the Karnataka. But Sri Krishna Devaraya gave due importance of Telugu language. So one of the famous ruler in Vijayanagara was Sri Krishna Devaraya. So he have given more importance to Telugu language. So what he was said, Desha Bhashalandu Telugu Lessa. So Sri Krishna Devaraya said that. Okay. So on the north of the Tungabhadra river, on the north of the Tungabhadra river, one side of Tungabhadra river, Vijayanagara kingdom was there. So on the another side of the Tungabhadra river, some new kingdoms called the Bahmani kingdoms arose. So previous that, initially it was one large kingdom with its capital in Gulbarga. So Gulbarga also belongs to Karnataka. Later on, between 1489 and 1520, so at the time of Krishna Devaraya rule, okay, see, it broke up into 5 small kingdoms. Okay, previously, so another side of the Tungabhadra river, so one large kingdom was there that was split into 5 small kingdoms. So out of those 5 kingdoms, Bijapur and Golconda and some Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh areas were ruled by sultans and warriors. So those came from Iran and Arabia. So already we discussed about Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq came from another country. Like that, these are also came from Iran and Arabia. All these kingdoms were constantly at war with each other, trying to enlarge their own kingdoms. So usually every king tried to expand their kingdoms. They want to establish their own empire. Okay, like that, these 5 kingdoms were always busy with wars to enlarge their own kingdoms. So they also tried to recruit the local warriors and chiefs about whom we read in the last chapter also same. So these kings who came from Iran and Arabia are sultans. So what they did, they recruited the local people in their army. They cannot carry total army from their countries. That's why they recruited local people in their army to help to establish control over the villages and towns and collect the taxes from the farmers and traders. Okay, so you can see here some important kings of Vijayanagara. So Harihara Raya, Bukkaraya, next Harihara Raya II, Devaraya II, Saluva Narasimharaya, Krishna Devaraya, Achyutaraya, Aliya Ramaraya, Venkatapati Raya. So these are the famous rulers in the Vijayanagara kingdom. Next, so how do we know about this Vijayanagara empire or kingdom, about those kings? So usually already we discussed in the previous class. So we knew about them through books, through excavations by the archaeologists, and some information given by the ambassadors who visited from different countries. Okay, so we know much about Vijayanagara Empire from inscriptions. Already we discussed what is the meaning of inscriptions. The information which is written on the stones, that is called inscription, and books and buildings of that period. So all the those kings were constructed different temples and buildings. Okay, so through them we know the information about those kings. Okay, so at the time of Vijayanagara kings, so many people visited from different countries. So like travelers, like Niccolo Count from Italy, who visited Vijayanagara in 1420 CE, Abdul Razzaq, the Persian trader, who visited in 1443 CE, the Portuguese traveler Domingo Paz, who visited it in 1520 CE, and Nunes, who wrote in 1537 CE. These all people visited Vijayanagara kingdom in different times, and they wrote books about those kings. So through inscriptions, books, buildings and visitors, we know the information about the Vijayanagara kingdom. The city of Vijayanagara, already we discussed about Vijayanagara kingdom was established in the banks of Tungabhadra. Next to the ancient temples of Pampadevi and Sri Virupaksha. So Abdul Razzaq says that the city had 7 rings of fortifications. So it is having 7 rings. So already we discussed about Rudramadevi constructed one fort with outer port, inner ring and another inner ring which is constructed by stones, mud. Okay, like that here also different 7 rings of fortifications. Some of these have been found by the archaeologists. So one of the descriptions given by the Portuguese traveler about the city, so we will discuss here. The kings has made a very strong city, fortified with walls and towers with stones. These walls are not made like those of other cities, but are made of strong masonry. So they used different material to construct. And inside, very beautiful rows of buildings with flat roofs. What is the meaning of flat roofs? Means slabs. So they constructed building with the slabs. You have a broad and beautiful street full of fine houses, and these houses belong to merchants. Merchants means traders. So at the time traders were more rich, and those were constructed fine houses, and there if you find all stores of sorts of rubies and diamonds and emeralds and beryls. So more valuable stones were sold in the streets, and clothes of every sort on the earth. In the evening you have a fair where they sell horses, vegetables, fruits, wood, etc. So at the time, so santas also there. Okay, that much organized system was there in the Vijayanagara kingdom. Next, archaeologists are of the opinion that the city had 4 separate divisions. So the Vijayanagara kingdom or city was divided into four separate parts. So in the first part, the first place provided to temples, devoted to temples. So those are situated on rocky hills, and the second one on the valley near the Tungabhadra valley, that was provided for agriculture purpose, where crops were raised using water from irrigation canals. And the third, a royal center in which royal palaces and residence of important nayakas were located. So, and the fourth one allocated for the residence of ordinary people or ordinary town folks. Each area was separated from others, like shown here. So this place was given to provided for temples. So Tungabhadra valley, this area given for agriculture, and here the fort was constructed for rulers, and this place provided for common people. So like that, total the city was divided into four parts. Okay, next, armies and military leaders. So they need army to control the kingdom and to collect the taxes and to suppress the revolts from different people. So that's why they established powerful army. So Vijayanagara rulers invested a lot of money in building their military power. Even now also our governments are spending more budget on army to protect our boundaries. Okay. Next, they imported a large number of horses from Arabia and Iran. So at the time they were used the horses in the war. So now we are using different fighter flights, okay, rockets, bombs, but at the time they used the horses and elephants at the time of war. So they imported good horses from Arabia and Iran. So how they imported? With the help of ships, which came in ships to their ports on the west coast. So they recruited a large army and built many strong forts. So to protect the people, to protect the royal families, they constructed the ports and they recruited a large army people. One of the important rulers, Devaraya II. So he was ruled between 1426 to 46, nearly 20 years of Vijayanagara. Started recruiting Muslim fighters to serve him and to train his soldiers in the new modes of warfare. So previously, our kings were recruited only Indian people in their army, but Devaraya started recruit army from Muslim community also. So why? Because those were sultans and they came from Iran and Iraq. Those were having good skills. So to train our people, so Devaraya II recruited Muslim fighters in his army. He also permitted the construction of mosques in the capital city where the Muslim soldiers were garrisoned. So he recruited so many Muslim soldiers in his army. So for them to worship Allah, so he allowed to construct the mosques also, means masjid. Okay. In those days, they used guns and cannons. Those were introduced newly. So previously our kings were used only swords and something, but now introduced guns and cannons. The Vijayanagara kings started using guns and cannons in their forces. The combination of firearms and cavalry means horse riders, made them one of the most powerful armies in India. So, to change their army, what they did, they recruited Muslim fighters and they imported powerful horses from Arabia and Iran, and they introduced firearms like guns and cannons in their army. So, like that, they became very powerful and they tried to establish their empire in our country with the help of new arms. Okay, so we'll discuss next part of the lesson tomorrow. Thank you.